Hello, hello. I'm gonna steal it from you.
Definitely
Welcome to
not how
Quack.
it starts.
On Quack&Co, it doesn't start hello, hello.
This is a board game channel that guarantees every video is going to be 10 minutes or less. And with that, we are unboxing the Dark Tower.
Hello, hello. Should we get started?
I don't have the knife.
I shall get started. Whee! There you go.
You said you were intrigued by the Dark Tower. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, just, do I know anything about it?
Anything at all?
Yes, so I know that, like, the corruption or the skulls, they come out of the tower and they cover different parts of the land. If you get too many of them, it's kind of like a mitigation game where you're trying to suppress the amount of, like, corruption or curses that's coming across the land, while also, I think, completing quests. Is that also a thing?
Yeah, so it's a cooperative game where you have different kind of escalating points. You have an app-driven tower in the center. It's a rebrand or a remake of an old classic called the Dark Tower. This is Restoration Games, who are, I think, one of the only, if not the best company in the industry that takes old games and brings them back to life with new development, new design, new graphic work, so on and so forth. And the core concept is...
That's nice.
What is it?
It tells you all the layers. It just says that's to be thrown out, but it shows you how the game should be stored.
Cool.
That's appreciated.
The core concept is that you're going to be playing around this board using various different heroes to try to, like you said, accomplish goals, accomplish quests, and take down the Dark Tower before the Dark Tower takes you down. You have the core box there. I have the Alliances expansion over here, which should bring in a few more characters and heroes, and the miniature pack. So, one of the cool things, the things that everyone is so excited about, was actually the application of these skulls. You drop them down this tower, and the app itself is going to be determining on where they're being shot out, like how they're kind of filtering through the land. And all of our minis here
They're all washed.
are washed.
They look so pretty.
Yeah, they're not too bad. I don't remember when I bought this if this was a
Did you get like the
upgrade?
ultimate version?
I think I
the
did.
Legendary
Yeah.
edition.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I would be surprised if you didn't.
I usually just go to like, what's the best version of the game I can get? And then I do that, because when I resell this game in about a week, it'll be
I will buy.
much more valuable.
I buy.
Great. Sold. Look at that. Already finding buyers
I buy.
right away. I'm not convinced that this is going to be a game that I love. I played
Really?
it. I play tested it. I was very compelled by it, but I mean compelled enough to back it. But it's been 2 years since then, right?
Yeah.
And I found that I don't play as many cooperative games. I don't play as many app-driven games. And so
I'm gonna get out the big boy.
there's a few elements of it that are questionable for me.
Oh, there's like little doors.
So yeah, so the way this works, I think they're all supposed to be closed, and then you, like, some of them open up depending on what scenario you're playing, right? And the way it works is you drop the skulls down there, and the app is actually running a motorized, like, gear inside that's deciding and thrusting the different skulls out of different areas.
Oh, that's not a hole. That's just a spot for stuff.
So that is the famed Dark Tower of
It's very
the Dark
dark.
Tower
It's
game.
very dark on that view.
It is actually surprisingly dark. Does this have tape on it? Or is this very tight?
So this has got spot for all of the different.
Do you have that knife? Did I have the knife?
Huh?
Knife.
Do you need a knife? Here's a knife.
Because I have the... I don't know why, but the tape that goes on the side of these little mini containers, I understand why it's there, but it's always slightly infuriating.
Oh yeah, it drives me crazy. So
I don't know
why do you maybe want to get rid of this beyond just the cooperative side?
So again, it's a cooperative game. I've heard it's kind of punishing, like it's sort, which is sometimes good, but not always, especially if it's not a game that. If it's too punishing for me to sit down with a group of like family or friends and play, then it might not fit into that category. And then you combine that with the fact that it's sort of an app-driven game, which is something that I play less and less. We don't use apps on Friday night or on Shabbos. We don't do a lot of cooperative games kind of across the week when it comes to that scale and that family level. And usually if I'm choosing to play an app-based game, I'm going to be choosing something that's like Destiny's or a story-driven one. And this one is not as much of that. This is running the events and kind of the sequencing through the app.
I know that they've had it at conventions like Gen Con and PAX and stuff. They had the physical version before you got your copy. Have you played it at all since, like, with the physical version?
I have not played it since the prototype. I played the prototype, which had a different, looking tower and stuff before the Kickstarter actually launched. We had a chance to talk about it, share it with the community, and again, I think they do the best job in the industry for restoring games.
They look
I'm not saying that the
fantastic
game's
when they do
bad.
it.
I'm saying that the past 2 years might have indicated to me that it might not be right for me.
Gotcha. I think that's fair.
That's the only question and challenge. Here's some of the minis and stuff if you want to take a look.
These look great. So, do you know what the Dark Horde expansion and the Alliances expansion do?
So this is just, I believe, adding miniatures.
They do a really good job on the miniature stories.
I would have to double check if it adds anything else other than that. The Alliances expansion is adding guilds, power skulls that are going to trigger different things depending on the color.
So those are the different color ones.
It adds 2 new heroes, which I think is the reason that I backed it, because it just gives you more playing. Like, each one of the heroes is fairly variable, and so it's actually fun to play as
so the more heroes you get, the more the...
and then it's adding just base game upgrades, right? So it's adding more cards, more treasures, more guild, more flags, more quests, and so on and so forth.
What does the Dark Powers one do? The box is down there.
I think it's just miniatures, but I will check. You gonna pull out some of these big guys, see how they look?
100% I do. I thought you never asked.
Yeah, so this just brings it to life with 65 detailed plastic figurines with a dark wash and highlight. So maybe everyone got the dark wash, I'm not sure. It could just be a thing that industries are doing now ever since Awakened Realms started setting it as standard for them.
These guys are pretty chonky in a satisfying way. Like, there's still a lot of detail. They're larger, but there's still a lot of detail on these minis.
The minis actually feel nice. They're not flimsy or anything. I like the sculpt on a lot of them. The wash is maybe a little oily for my flavor.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, pretty. Like, what's the Warhead Null oil or whatever for the...
It's very... You can even see, like, in crevices and stuff, it feels like it hasn't completely set. But I know it has. Like, it's just the way...
Yeah,
you could go over it with a matte...
excess.
You could go over it with, like, a
makes
matte varnish
shiny
or something, which I'll never do. But you can dull that down a little bit. Overall, I like the minis.
No, I think the minis are really, really sharp looking. I like the storage. I like how well this sits here and how well you can kind of set in a lot of the other pieces into... tokens and cards and stuff into the main box here. And the tower is quite cool. I think, you know, I think once you turn it on and have batteries in it, you know, it's got kind of that like dark amber, you know, blood red color on the crimson on the sides, and I think, you know, the lights will help make it stand out a little bit more. It's visually dark right now, but I think those, you know, 4 pillars or edges.
Is there anything else in there? Do you have the game board?
It's really just, the game board is maybe here, maybe not here. Oh, I think it's actually underneath.
There we are. I was like, I know we're missing something. So, this is a kind of cool element to it. This giant board here. Now, why is it that you're intrigued by this one? Is it just because it's pretty?
Because, I have a lot of people that I play with that aren't in the hobby constantly. They're kind of in the hobby on the peripherals, like when they come to the house. And like, I have cooperative games, or I have, you know, kind of, you know, less intense games, like maybe Between Two Castles, Mankin Ludwig, or Rolling Realms and stuff like that, where it's kind of like an exciting experience. But the people that I play with, that I play those kind of lower or entry-level games with, they're not my family, and they're not someone who they wouldn't be intimidated by this if we had a cooperative experience.
Sure.
And I think that what Restoration Games does in terms of kind of bringing old memories back and vitalizing them and giving them a new sheen, I think that this could be a very dramatic and like exciting experience for those kind of players that come over to my house, and maybe they don't want to do something like Gloomhaven, but they'd be interested in this.
You set this down on the table. People are going to be asking, like,
oh my gosh, what is
going
that?
On, right?
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the different regions, and basically what you're going to have is you're going to have various different quests that pop up at different, like, the Sands of Madness or in the Mountains of the Watchers, and you have to, like, traverse those locations, mitigate the pandemic style, like, skulls escalating around the board, because what they'll do is they'll dump out of here, and they'll just land wherever they land. And if they land here, or here, wherever, it's escalating.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're reacting to the tower, you're reacting to where the skulls have settled themselves, and also trying to complete different objectives and quests in different regions. And you're going to need skills, you're going to need to be able to upgrade your character. And that's the core element of the game. It's pretty straightforward overall. But yeah, so there you have it. That's a quick look at Unboxing the Dark Tower. Let us know, should I play, keep, and review this one, or should Devin go home with it, well,
I will go home with it.
We'll see you later.